How's it going, everybody? Welcome to VBA Poke Center Week 2. I am here once again with Leaf, who made all of the overlays. And we're going to go over all the games and stuff, and we got a couple of stats at the end as well. And, of course, everybody's long-awaited Spice Plays of the Week, brought to you by Pikachu and the Laundry Basket. Oh, I'll see you. As you can see, I'm here at Five Guys today. Not a sponsor, but they do have good burgers, so check them out.
Five Guys sponsor us.
Five Guys hit me up, Popo's VGC. But yeah, so we're gonna go over the games. There was a lot of interesting games this week, and there were a couple of pretty surprising Pokemon that came out of this week with a lot of kills. So we're gonna be able to see that as we go through the stats, and at the end you'll see the kill leaders, and the list looks a lot different than it did last week. So it's gonna be an exciting week. The first game we have going here is we're going to have the Tricos versus the Berserkers. And going into this week, we have the Tricos at 1-0 and the Berserkers at 0-1. Trico in the top echelon with the 8 kills, of course. You're going to see these kills fluctuate throughout the season. Most brought Pokemon is Meowstic, 100% win rate in games. On the other side, we have 3 kills, and Riolu is the number 1 Pokemon. So let's see what they both brought this week. We see a lot of the same Pokemon brought last week. We see the Starmie and Meowstic combo again, but we don't see the Expanding Force. Did you think he was going to bring the Expanding Force this week?
I actually don't think he was. I think the Trixie Tricos are a very talented player, and I think with that comes the knowledge of kind of how your opponents prep and draft. And I think that although there was a chance it was coming if it needed to, I think he also knows that his opponent was probably going to prep for it, so I think it's more of like a team preview scare tactic than it actually ended up being.
That makes sense. And on the other side, we see the return of Raichu, who is now the most used Pokemon by Berserkers, alongside that Arcanine and Berserker being brought again. And the Choice Scarf Blastoise is always going to be a threat. I got wiped by it last season, so...
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. So going into game 1, we see a lead of Starmie Absol by the Tricos and Blastoise Raichu on the other side. But this Absol was very strong and way too much for this Blastoise, as it was able to just kind of take control of the whole game. And Tricos do take game 1 2-0, being alive with the Absol and the Garchomp at the end, losing the Starmie to Raichu really early on. The first kill, and Vikavolt being the last one against Blastoise Raichu. Rapidash Galarian got a kill in this one. Did a ton of damage with the Zen Headbutt, and Como being the last one who didn't really get to do much. So
yeah, it was Life Orbs, right?
Yeah. So it was crazy. I was very surprised it was a 2-shot on Vikavolt. I was like, oh, he brought the Rapidash. This thing is just kind of dead, and then it was like, okay, all right.
And then it was less dead.
All right, calm down, Rapidash. But game 2, it went back to its old ways where it just instantly died. We saw some interesting stuff in here. We saw that Arcanine is actually holding the Rocky Helmet and is going to get a kill with that on the Absol late in the game to pick up the ultimate victory for the Berserkers in game 2. 0-1 victory left down to that Arcanine plus that Absol. I thought the Absol was going to take it till the Rocky Helmet procced.
Yeah, I mean, I always love seeing a good Rocky Helmet build. I always make fun of Hawk. He brings it a lot. He loves to build a Rocky Helmet. I think he always puts it on a team. But I always love to see a good Rocky Helmet build, and I love to see it actually take a kill.
Yeah, it didn't help that the Tricos also killed their own Meowstic with their Earthquake from Garchomp. Sometimes you gotta make those sacrifices. You're not running the Protect. You're gonna end up hitting your stuff sometimes. So that's just the way it goes. And Blastoise picking up 2 kills with that Water Spout. Water Spout's always strong. So, and then going into game 3. Now it's pretty even game going so far until this game where Tricos kind of just asserted their dominance in this one. I feel like we saw the lead of Starmie Absol, the same lead as the first game, against Raichu Berserker. The Blastoise came out later in the game, didn't really do anything, died to Sucker Punches via the Absol. He's able to pick up that kill. Starmie actually kills Raichu in this one, and I accidentally wrote the the wrong thing here. I wrote Starmie killed himself, which did not happen. And Vikavolt died to the Berserker. And Garchomp, I put killed Garchomp. I was tired this morning writing the wrong things. So Berserker died to the Garchomp. We saw Arcanine actually kill itself, which is never going to help you. And yeah, 2-0 victory to the Tricos. So Tricos actually go to 2-0, and the Berserkers drop to 0-2 to start the season. Still early. It's 10 games. You can go 8-2 from here. So I mean, you can't count anybody out at this point.
It is, and I've already seen Ollie, the Berserkers. He's already starting to, learn a lot more in terms of like building for draft. This is his first draft league, so it's already good to see the improvement and the incremental progress. I do love the Nuzzle, but I think I do also think that you should have brought Fake Out. You have a lot of Fake Out on your team, and I think bringing it would have been very helpful.
Yeah, because you can run on obviously not this set of Blastoise, but you can run on Blastoise, Raichu, anything like that. So I would think about trading the Rapidash. Maybe there's something else out there that can take that place. There's some pretty good fairy types out there, so maybe trying to consider getting that out of there. Though, once again, you got to kill this week, so can't say too much. But yeah, going into game 2, we're going to see the Arcanines versus the Guzzlords. This was one I was excited to see. I wanted to see if Mantine leaving the Guzzlords would hurt it. But yeah, so we see the Arcanines at 1-0 with 6 kills last week. Liepard being the most brought, 100% game win percentage, versus the Guzzlords 0-1. Very close games for them last week. Actually, the kill leader after week 1 at 9 total kills. Mr. Rhyme being the most brought Pokemon, and a 33, actually second. That's right, he was second because Spoink's at 10. So 33% game win, and yeah, they kind of brought the Guzzlords brought almost the same team. They went with the sand stuff again and brought the Hitmonchan, except they brought the Braviary instead, and they brought the Togetic.
Yeah, this was a really good game. There was a couple really good plays from both sides. There was a point on the Arcanine side. I believe it was game 3. Where they made a really good and risky play, where Guzzlords had the Togetic out. Could have clicked follow me at any point, but he went for the risky play, and it ended up getting the KO on Excadrill later on. And I think those kind of aggressive plays are like what we don't see too often. And I think that, I don't know, it was a great call, and I think the set in general is really good.
Well, going back to the teams, we see Liepard being brought again, along with that Crobat. Nidoking was a big factor last week as well. Same with that Berserker. So very similar teams here. People just trying certain things out, changing 1 or 2 Pokemon early in the season. I can respect that.
You don't want all your info to get out, you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
But game 1 was pretty interesting. We saw the Crobat Nidoking against the Stoutland Gigalith, going right away with the Stoutland had after you. So you can go real fast and allow that Gigalith to get off rock slides pretty quickly. And yeah, it looked like the Guzzlords took a pretty commanding lead early on, but in my opinion, it did not stay that way.
Yeah, no, it definitely did not.
As the Arcanines brought out the Marowak and just started taking names, Marowak getting 3 kills in this game, and Nidoking picking up the Gigalith with that Earth Power. While we still Stoutland actually get a kill against Liepard, Gigalith killed the Crobat, and Excadrill actually killed the Nidoking before dying to that Marowak as well. So it was a 1-0 victory, very close game. A really good game to watch, to see the weather against non-weather teams and see what it could really do. Going into game 2, I think that Guzzlords are the best game 2 player, as 2 weeks in a row they actually got 4-0s in game 2, and I didn't even get to see their third Pokemon. Mystery fourth Pokemon, nobody will ever know who it was. We saw Hitmonchan, Gigalith lead versus Berserker Aromatisse. Didn't matter. Hitmonchan got a kill on Marowak. Then we saw Excadrill come out for the Gigalith on a hard switch and just pick up 3 kills. And I think it was in 3 turns or 4 turns. And it was, yeah, it was GG's from there, so.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was quick, though. It was a quick game, too.
It was quick. But so was game 3. As we see the Guzzlords go out with that Gigalith Hitmonchan just like they did in the previous game. But like you said, the Togetic was brought and the Excadrill was there. The nice read on the switch in onto the Excadrill, and then the call on the Togetic to be able to get that kill over the Pokemon as Togetic did go for the Protect instead of the Follow Me. It could have been a little bit different if he did go for the Follow Me, but that's the way the game plays out, and you got to make those calls sometimes. And Arcanize did a good job making those calls and picking up the 4-0 in the other game. Nidoking getting 3 of those kills, and Liepard actually picking up a kill on Gigalith with the foul play, which did pretty good damage. It did like 40%. So, yeah, decent game. We're going to see the Arcanines pick up the 2-1 victory against the Guzzlords. And yeah, this was a fantastic game. I think the MVP, in my opinion, was Nidoking. He was just able to take over that last game and
I agree.
Kind of get it. We didn't see Marowak in the last game, so do anything. And in the first game, the MVP was Absol for sure. It got 5 kills, 6 kills or something.
Yeah,
so
and it just crit the whole game.
Yeah, it just crit. Super lucky is just kind of nasty. So, yeah. So our next game is going to be the Bashers versus the Dragons. Or no, wait, that's the wrong one. We got Rebellion. I scrolled down too far. We got Rebellion versus the Dragons. We got Dragons on Dragon action. We got the 1-0 victory for Rebellions last week, and we have 8 kills. Dragonite being the most brought Pokemon, of course, picking up all those kills last week. 66% game wins. The record for the Dragons is 0-1. We got 3 kills, Dragapult, and 0. Looking at these teams, they definitely didn't go Dragons. We do see both of the big boy dragons. Dragapult, of course, going to be brought all the time by Island Dragons, but there's a special move on that side, on that Aerodactyl over there.
We don't need to. Well, we do need to talk about it.
We do need to talk about it.
Don't ever bring Stealth Rock. I'm telling you, don't ever bring Stealth Rock to this damn game. Yo, straight up stab flying type move if you can't think of a fourth. Stealth Rock gone forever, please.
Yeah, swing attack is better. Yeah, so he brought Stealth Rocks in a support Dragapult, so that's kind of 2 support Pokemon right there. And the Hitmontop, a 3rd support Pokemon. The team composition, in my opinion, was a little weak compared to the Rebellion, who just brought straight fire with Whimsicott, Life Orb. Whimsicott, Life Orb with Tickle. He brought a Steelix. My dude brought a Porygon. He brought Dragonite, Arcanine. His team was going off.
His team was actually kind of heat. It was not kinda. It was very heat. It was a very well built team. He came to show that I'm the better dragon tamer today, and it's just. I think at the end of the day, I mean, we're gonna talk about the games in a second, but I think at the end of the day, what really drew Hawk back was just running Stealth Rock. Like, I feel like a solid flying type attack would have at least took game 1, and we would have seen a 3-game match.
Well, we'll just talk about both games in one here. It was a 2-0 victory for the Rebellion. We saw Whimsicott go off with 4 kills in the first game, but to give credit, we did see the Aerodactyl getting a helping hand, instantly killing that Arcanine with the Stone Edge. So that was pretty good to see. So Arcanine was taken down. Of course, crits go through the Intimidate, so it didn't really matter. But Whimsicott was able to just pick up kill after kill after kill after kill, bringing 3 Pokemon that were weak to Whimsicott and also slower than Whimsicott, especially after Tailwind. There was just nothing there. And then in game 2, Whimsicott getting another 2 kills. Whimsicott, a 6-kill game. We saw this last week with Dragonite, and then he comes around and he brings it again with Whimsicott, like just showing. I don't have just one Pokemon that can get 6 kills. I have 2. I have 3. We saw Steelix get a kill. Like this was a crazy game.
we also saw Steelix take 1 HP from a Stone Edge.
Listen, sometimes it happens. You go for your best move. Wing attack would have did a little bit more damage. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so fantastic game from Rebellion right now. In my opinion, I think Rebellion best team right now. I just think what they're putting out there, and they're not showing anything special. They're just bringing good stuff right now, and they're using it to their advantage. And that's scary, because when they start bringing stuff that may be a little bit out of spec, you don't know what you're going to get. So it's going to be exciting to see what Rebellion does in the future. Obviously, MVP was Whimsicott. It wasn't even close. Nobody else. None of the other Pokemon did anything.
None of the other Pokemon did anything. It was just Whimsicott.
It was just Whimsicott. So yeah, very good victory for Rebellion. The Dragons need to just step it up a little. You know, they're second to last in kills right now. They're one of the top teams in deaths, so they're gonna have to come up with something. Develop something, just get the ball rolling a little bit, maybe win a game next week, you know, like a game, not a whole set, but a game.
It's me and him week 3.
Yeah, that's true. He's facing you, that's right. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do.
And we both need that dub.
Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, next we have the Bashers versus Steel types, so we're on the right one now. Last week we saw the Steel types actually lose, only getting 1 kill last week. Most raw Pokemon was that Incineroar, and the Bashers also lost last week, but getting 7 kills in that. Oh no, they won last week. Did they win? They did win. I don't know why. No, they lost. They did lose.
They
got 7 kills. And Magmar. I was tired when I was doing a lot of this, so I apologize if there are any incorrect stats. I do apologize.
Yeah, they did lose because they went against the Manchinos, right?
That's right. Yep, they went up against Machino. So they did lose, and they got 7 kills in that, which is pretty good for a loss. And here's the team sheets for the week. It seems like a lot of the same from the Steel types. It didn't work last week. I'm gonna be honest. It didn't work this week. You know, Incineroar is always good. He's always gonna be good. But you just need those other Pokemon around him, and I just feel like, you know, the Jellicent didn't really do anything, or the Haxosaurus didn't really do anything for him 2 weeks in a row now. So it's kind of tough for that. And we saw the Bashers actually bring a pretty cool Pokemon, and that Archeops 2 weeks in a row actually being pretty interesting Pokemon, as this time it's actually special, whereas last week it was a physical set. Yeah, it was kind of cool to see it hit that Meteor Beam first turn against that Incineroar, just instantly one-shotting
it. Decimating. I stand special Archeops, bro. I do.
Well, not only did it take out Incineroar, but it also killed Haxosaurus. And then we saw the Kang Archeops first turn, so we can set up that fake out pressure. But we had Incin Jellicent, and that Jellicent just sat there and watched his boy Incin die as he went down. And we actually saw Comfy get a kill on the Jellicent, which is a pretty cool one. The Copperajah did come in and get a kill on the Kangaskhan, the only kill that the Steel types were able to get in this matchup. And going into game 2 is Archeops Kangaskhan again up against Jellicent Haxosaurus this time. And we see the Archeops actually get a kill later in the game, not early on, against that Incineroar once again. And the Kangaskhan actually gets killed by the Incineroar. But Magmortar went off. He killed Jellicent, Haxosaurus, and Copperajah in this matchup, and Magmortar showing 2 weeks in a row that he might be good.
He's here to stay. He's here to stay.
He might be good. I like Magmortar. He's just in regular VGC just doesn't feel like he has it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the MVP here was Archeops. It was 3-0, 3-0 both times. So, yeah, it was a pretty commanding victory by the Bashers. Bashers last week could have won it. Got a double freeze on that one turn on the switch in on the Slow King. So sometimes it just be like that. But yeah, the Steel types, man, they only have 3 kills this whole season so far. Like, what do you think they have to do to kind of bring it back?
I think a little bit is they need to really focus on getting their trades in. They already told me what their trades are, but I'm not gonna leak nothing just in case it hasn't already been put in. I believe it has though, but just in case. But I think we need to see some different team comps. I think both team comps are pretty similar, so I think it made it a little easier to prep for. But I think now that we're going into week 3, I think Rhett's gonna take off. But I can't say until it happens. I think they really just need to focus on maybe even bring in some spicier tech. Like they don't have, other than Instant, they don't have a ton of Pokemon that that you would normally bring like kind of like meta sets for. You know what I'm saying? So like they're kind of Pokemon that you have to build spicy with, and we just haven't really seen the spice be brought. So I think that's what we need to see to really see him get a leg up on the game.
Yeah, I think going hard Trick Room is tough sometimes too, especially in a draft league. I mean, I had to do it all last season because I was given literally Trick Room team. I literally couldn't do anything.
With a fast sweeper.
Yeah, so I mean, it happens, you know. It's sometimes you get stuck into this kind of meta, but you gotta kind of think of how can I get out of this meta? What can I put a Choice Scarf on that people are thinking this is a Trick Room team, and then it's Choice Scarfed, and now it's getting a kill first turn unexpectedly. You know, you got to kind of think of those kind of things, and I think
sure.
Rhett has the mind for that, and I think Rhett will be fine, but it's yet to be seen. You know, we'll see what he comes up with.
For sure.
Our next matchup, we have the Grimmsnarls versus the Weezings. Grimmsnarls 1-0, had 7 kills last week. Hitmonchan being the MVP, getting most of those kills. And then we had the Weezings also winning last week, getting 8 kills. Melodic doing tons of work that week. Not this week, because I don't even see Melodic.
This was a feel bad game.
It happens like that sometimes, you know. Game 1, we see the Noivern Thwackey lead against the Purrlion and Dracozolt, and it didn't go so well for the Weezings in this one. As we do see the Noivern come in being, as you can see up there, Choice Scarfed, outspeeding anything possibly in this whole game, including that Dracozolt, who is going to just straight up take a Draco Meteor and get one shot on turn 1. The Thwackey did pretty good though. Like, credit to the Thwackey. Both Thwackeys in this league have been doing fantastic.
Thwackey's great value.
Yeah, I mean, you put Eviolite on him, he's bulky, he gets that Grassy Glide that's still base 135 power, whatever it is. I mean, can't really complain about it, honestly.
No, not at all.
And so yeah, so we just saw that take over. We saw Asmodee come out. He ended up getting a couple of kills too. So it was just a straight 4-0 victory for the Grimmsnarls. And then on game 2, we saw Thwackey Bisharp as the first 2, and Dusknoir X Splat. We actually see Thwackey in this game die to killing himself, which is always fun. But Bisharp absolutely went off, getting 3 kills, and Cinderace actually coming in and picking up the last kill on Hatterene to end the game, and Hatterene picking up the only kill in this game for the Weezings, as it is a 3-0 victory in game 2. Grimmsnarls actually have the least amount of deaths in the league. They only have 3 deaths in this league right now. That's
and that's
crazy.
pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you could say about that besides that's good.
Yeah, it's a very good feat for sure. I actually do really like the team that the Grimmsnarls brought this week. I thought that it's kind of like out of pocket. Like, I don't think it's like Wakeman's really good at like building his teams to be really good. Like, every time Wakeman builds a team, he builds it to do a job, and then all his Pokemon do that job. Like, he's really good at doing that. I think I noticed a little bit of stepping out of his comfort zone when building this team, and I think it really paid off. So I got to give it to Wakeman on that. On Rolo's side of it, the reason why I said it feels bad is because so when he was genning his team, and we've actually made fun of him a little bit for this in the server, he had the wrong ability on his Gigalith. So he went for a switch thinking he was going to get Sand Up to outspeed.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, and then after he switched, he was like, "There's no sand." So he said that he double checked, and the paste that he put into the bot was correct. That it was just at the end of the day the bot that messed up and gave him the wrong ability, and he didn't notice it until it was too late.
Yeah, I noticed that when he switched in, but I forgot to mention it here. But I see what he would have went for, but I think he still gets outsped. So I think at the end of the day, it didn't end up mattering. But at least that sand could have did chip damage and stuff like that, and maybe it could have led to 1 or 2 more extra things happening. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it really would have mattered. I think that's why Grimsnarls went with the Choice Scarf on the Noivern to still be able to outspeed that Drakazole in Sand. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was a rough game. It was a rough game, especially after the great performance that the Weezings put on last week. So our next game, we have the Smokers versus the Drapions. The Smokers were lost last week with only 3 kills, and Sock being the most brought Pokemon. And we had the Drapions also lose, getting 6 kills, though. Both of those games were really close against the Flareons, and the most brought Pokemon, Dragapult, which is not really a surprise. You're going to probably see that a lot from the 2 teams this season that have him. We see a more traditional Corviknight in this matchup here, bringing from the Smokers, as well as bringing Nidoking and Stonejourner, which you'll hear a lot about with Wide Lens, so it's going to be able to hit those. And we see Barraskewda, who didn't actually end up seeing the field, and we have Drapions. We have a more traditional style Dragapult, still bulky, as you can see by its overall set, and the Togekiss. Those are the 2 danger zone Pokemon right there. And we see the Torracat. Torracat is a fantastic Pokemon, as it's just Incineroar with Butterbaby and much faster. So I think it's like 95 speed or something like that. It's kind of insane. So game 1, we actually see Corviknight. Oh no, we do see Barraskewda. Why did I think there was no Barraskewda? It was Corviknight, Barraskewda, the lead from the Smokers, and we see Obstagoon and Lucario from the Drapions, and this one wasn't even close, as Stonejourner actually came out here and said, "Yo, what's up, bro?
I'm a good Pokemon. Y'all doubted me.
I'm decent. I'm decent. All right." And he actually rock slides his way to 3 kills, killing Lucario, Torracat, and Obstagoon, with Corviknight picking up the kill on the Togekiss pretty early on. Lucario dying to Stonejourner is pretty interesting. That one wasn't rock slide. That one was Earthquake, but same difference, right? It's getting those kills. Yeah. No special defense, but as you can see on the other side, Togekiss being the only special attacker, so I mean, that was the advantage right there. The high physical defense by Stonejourner, able to take over. Game 2, though, so it was a 4-0 victory pretty easily for the Smokers, but Drapions were ready for the Stonejourner this time, as we see Corviknight, Nidoking as the leads against Dragapult's Slowbro. Slowbro able to pick up a kill on Nidoking later on. Lucario coming in pretty early, killing the Corviknight Executor and dying to Nidoking later on. And yeah, it did enough work to just allow for the Drapions to actually take this one and to force a game 3. I thought this was a really good game, this game 2, because you could tell he was trying to play around the Stonejourner the whole time, and he was able to successfully do it. So yeah, Slowbro was just too much. That once again, that special defense is just so low on Stonejourner. It takes 1 Scald. The thing is somewhere else. It has 20 base special defense, so
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not great. So next we have Executor Sableye, so just changing it up completely on this one, not even bringing the Corviknight in this game, against the Lucario Dragapult. So he's leading with that Lucario that did so much work the game before, and bringing that Dragapult, which he did not bring in game 1, mind you. But Dragapult almost instantly dead to Nidoking. Yeah, he switched in the Nidoking a couple of turns in and was able to just kind of take over with that. The Executor was too much for that Slowbro, which is going to make up that difference on that Stonejourner. And the Stonejourner actually gets a Earthquake that kills both Lucario and Torracat on the same turn, giving the victory to the Smokers 2-0 in this one. So it's a pretty good game.
Yeah, it was a good set to watch for sure. You could, at pretty much any point, you could think that it would go either way in this one. And I really enjoyed that for sure. I think Smokers have done a really good job earning their spot here, and really showing us that they can really actually play this game.
Yeah, because game 1, he brought out Stonejourner. I was like, okay, this thing's gonna support, and the thing just went off. It just went off.
Not expected at all.
No, picking up 6 kills. 6 kills. Stonejar, 6 kills in this game. Obviously earned the MVP in this one.
We actually haven't been talking about the MVP in a hot minute.
Yeah, well, it's because those other 2 games were... I picked Thwacky in the last game because Thwacky supported and he was out there almost the whole game, forcing the steel types to kind of work around it. And then, yeah, we talked about the other ones. Nidoking, Absol, yeah. No, we talked about the other ones.
I don't think we talked about Archeops, but either way, Archeops MVP for that one.
Yeah. So I think that's an easy pick. Good job on the Smokers, 2-1 victory. See if they can continue that going into the next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Our next one, we have the Kinglers versus the Tyranitar. And
this one hurt.
The Kinglers won last week, getting 8 kills. Lickitung being that pivotal Pokemon. And then we had Tyranitars who actually lost last week, only picking up 4 kills, and they had that Volcarona. As we bring up the team sheets here. Listen, I was happy when I saw the Corviknight use the Iron Defense. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I was excited. I mean, just look at the Tyranitar's team. You could bring this in regular VGC and you'd be doing all right. If you brought Azumarill, Rillaboom, Corviknight, and Volcarona, you're like, I'm probably gonna lose this game. But that's where you'd be wrong because none of those Pokemon did anything. And then on the other side, we had the Rotom Primarina on Pheasant. I really hate on Pheasant, and Garchomp, Gourgeist, which I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Gourgeist. I don't know if this was big Gourgeist or small Gourgeist, but I'm a fan. And of course, Scizor is always fantastic. Metal Coat Scizor. I don't know why you go the Metal Coat. I guess to give him that little bit of a boost, but just go Metal Plate, bro. It's cooler. They do the same thing, but they different. You know what I'm saying? So we see the Rotom Heat on Pheasant lead against Toxtricity and Gardevoir. Is there anything you want to say before I talk about this game right here?
Krabby. What? I got this. You know this. I'm looking at you. What were you doing in this game, man? I gotta say, I love you, but I do gotta say that right off the bat, we see Toxtricity just take off. Like, there's no hesitation at all. This Toxtricity hit the field, and it was like, I'm gonna be loud right now.
See, here's the thing. As soon as he led Toxtricity Gardevoir, because I don't look at the team sheets before I watch the games, so I didn't know what he had. But he sent out Toxtricity and Gardevoir, and I was like, I don't think he's ready for this boom burst that's about to happen.
I don't think he's ready for this boom burst. This boom burst about to be loud, real loud.
I was like, this is definitely Choice Specs boom burst right now. And he has nothing on his team to stop Choice Specs boom burst. Yep. Was it Choice Specs? Was it Choice Specs?
I don't even remember. Yeah, it was Scarf. No, not Scarf. Sorry, it was
yeah, it's Choice Specs. Okay. And this thing just decimated. It killed on Pheasant turn 1. It killed Rotom turn 3. And then it killed Scizor and Primarina on turn like 4 or 5 or something like that. Or like 6. I think it's 6 because he switched it out. But
I just don't know what else to say about it. Like, Krabby, I'm trying to find something to talk about, but you played so well last week.
Wait, hold on. But game 2, he's ready for the Toxtricity now, right? He's ready for the Toxtricity. So we see the Kinglers go out with the Rotom and Garchomp. He's ready for it. He's ready for it.
Ready. Ready.
We see the Toxtricity come out with the Gardevoir again, and we see Garchomp instantly get killed by a Boom Burst.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry.
It's the way it went. It's just the way it went. I mean, you got to call the games how you see them. And then we see the Rotom also go down on turn 2. We see a switch out as the Gourgeist does come in. Obviously, Boom Burst can't hit the Gourgeist. But this is a steel. This is not a steel Pokemon. This is a poison Pokemon. So it's going to be good against the Gourgeist. All he has to do is get into that Corviknight. Brings in the Corviknight. Goes up with Toxtricity. Now he Sludge Waves. He just has all these moves he could just switch into. Though, to be fair, The Kinglers did get 3 kills in this game. Gorgeist actually picking up Asmoral and the Toxtricity, but dying to his own Life Orb damage. And we see the Primarina actually die to the poison from Toxtricity from that Sludge Wave. Primarina also picking up Corviknight.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but it was a fun game to watch. No offense to the Kinglers or anything, but it was a fun game. Obvious MVP, Toxtricity. We talked about it last week. We said we want to see what the Toxtricity is going to do. We want to see what Toxtricity do. I said Tyrannotars. I want to see Corviknight. I want to see Iron Defense. I want to see Body Press. My dude said, all right, I show you both of those. And he came out and he brought it. And I was in on it the whole time. So...
Yeah. It was a game that happened.
The look on Kingler's face was of sadness the whole time, but he was also impressed. So,
but he was still in a very good mood the whole time. So I want everyone to take notes from our man Sprabby.
But yeah, easy 2-0 victory for the Tyrannotars there. Toxtricity just taking over. Yeah. So craziest game. All right, so we go into our next game. We got the. I realized after that your name has a Z in it. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. So you're gonna see S's. I apologize. From here forward, it will have a Z. Okay.
Respect, bro. Respect.
I'm just saying it's gonna have a Z from now on. I didn't notice when I was writing my notes.
You know me? How many years you didn't even put the Z, bro?
No, I didn't put the Z. So we got the Latchkey Kids versus the Stunfisks. Last week, Latchkey lost 0-1, or they lost 0-2, and they only got 1 kill. Oranguru being the most brought Pokemon. We had the Stunfisks actually win last week, getting 8 kills. Vanillux doing work, and now Vanillux isn't even on team, but we'll talk about that later on. That's like 5 kills right down the drain. So Latchkey brings that Klefki that they picked up last week that I challenged him on as well. We see the Gothitelle. The Drifloon coming back, this time with Will-O-Wisp Tailwind. Like I said last week, I would have rather see that Will-O-Wisp. Dracovish is back, Choice Banded this time, so he's going to do a lot of damage. Oranguru and the Fairlinks being Assault Vest, so he's going to be able to eat up some special attack. Luxray being brought, Malamar, Jellicent, and those are the only ones that really matter. Those are the big hitters right there. These were some pretty interesting games. Game 1, we see the Klefki Drifloon lead, with that Drifloon putting up that Tailwind plus that Will-O-Wisp pressure against Jellicent and Minshao. And now Jellicent can put on the Trick Room pressure, so you got to kind of balance that out there. But we do see the Drifloon actually pick up the kill on the Jellicent pretty early on, with the Klefki actually sitting out there and doing some stuff. We see the Fairlinks getting a kill on Malamar using that First Impressions. And then we see the Dracovish up against that Mawile there, getting a kill. Minshao taking the kill back, but we see the Latchkey Kids actually take game 1, 1-0. So it was a pretty good victory. Though you said something in this game that confuses me.
All right, what up? What'd I say?
You said he's gonna know that my Fairlinks is Choice.
Listen, I was actually about to talk about that. I was actually gonna talk about it. I was literally, as soon as you were done talking, I was gonna talk about it, because I said the same thing to myself. I was like, bro, Fairlinks isn't Choice. What?
You played the whole game as some Choice. You played the whole game as some Choice.
And I clicked every single turn as if he was choiced in my head, because he was choiced last week. So it's not a secret. Everyone knows I built this team kind of intoxicated. Night before, only spent about a half hour building it, 40 minutes. And the choice to move from Choice to AV was literally the last thing I did before I put the cap on the team. So I did play the entire set thinking that I had a choice item on Phalanx, and I think running it back, I think it would have changed the way certain events happened.
You could have literally won game 2.
Yep, I could have literally won game 2 and listen, I wasn't gonna play specifics, but there's a couple of things that I did wrong in game 2, but one of them was not realizing that my Phalanx wasn't AV, or was AV. So listen, it happens. You know, Curry's a fantastic player. And your boy got nervous. I won game 1 and I got nervous. All right, that's all you gotta say.
Well, let me see. So you said in the game, you said, well, I gotta click first impressions again. Now he's gonna know I'm choice, right? And I'm like, is he just saying that because he wants him to think he's choice? And then you said it again, and I'm like, let me go back to team preview. Did I see the wrong item? And I was like, no, that's assault. I was like, all right, fine.
It did kind of work in my favor though, because when I did that, Curry went into game 2 thinking I was choiced. But the only problem is I couldn't capitalize because I thought I was choice.
That's where you went wrong. So getting into game 2, we see the Fairlinks Klefki, which is a really good lead, especially what he brought before against the Malamar Minshao. But here's where Leaf went wrong. He said, well, I can't click first impressions because I'm choice scarfed. He could have killed Malamar turn 1. But he could have just killed Malamar turn 1, but he was too scared to get stuck in, so he went for an attack on the Minshao. Fairlinks did very well in this game, despite the fact that he was choice scar.
He wasn't choice scarf.
Fake choice scarf. But the biggest thing we take away from this is Klefki actually gets a double kill on the Malamar Minshao on turn 3, I believe, as it's sitting there in front of them. We see the Drift Bloom come in pretty early, too. That dies to the Mawile later on. Mawile picking up the kill there, as well as Jellicent picking up the kill on Klefki and Fairlinks. And Fairlinks picking up a kill, but against Dracovish, because Dracovish could only heal the Jellicent. So that was a really good play, in my opinion. You did it, I think, two turns too late. I think the first turn you should have tried to kill, but he also attacked your Dracovish, which confused me, because he should have known that your Dracovish couldn't hurt the Jellicent, so why did he attack the Draco? I don't know. I was just watching the game. Nobody knew what was happening. It was good time. It was a fun time, but game 2.
I was watching that back, and I was like, it was quite a few turns too late, and I guess it still might not. Me and Curry actually talked about it after post game, and it might not have completely mattered, but I think killing the Draco earlier on my end would be way more efficient, as he was paralyzed, so I always had the chance for the para hacks.
Yeah.
And even a crit, so I should have killed him sooner.
I think the first turn, if you attacked Malamar with first impressions, you won the game.
Listen, I was choice.
I think that was the turning point, because that would have gave you Fairlinks against the Mawile, giving you a Defiant boost. So I think it would have been a huge advantage to you to be able to get rid of that Malamar early on, because after you switched out the Fairlinks because you thought it was choice and it wasn't in a good position anymore, you switched it out, and he already had the Mawile in by the time you switched it back in. So
yep.
Listen, next time, look at your items like this. Okay. All right, we're good. Let's go in.
Guys, don't build drunk.
But yeah, so that was game 2. Game 3 we go into, and we see you actually bring the Oranguru Fairlinks, which in my opinion is a very weak lead against the Amoonguss Minshao. I'm going to be honest, I didn't get to watch his game, so I don't know what his 4th Pokemon was. So I did not put it here, but no need for it. Malamar comes in, Malamar gets set up, Malamar just takes out all of your whole team. You do kill the Amoonguss with Dracovish though, but yeah, the Malamar was just too strong. Dracovish can't keep up with damage even if it's faster. It's just, as soon as you get 2 plus 2 defense, it's over.
I made the mistake of being like, he's going to be prepped for this same Pokemon I've been bringing. I'm going to make a change, and it was a stupid change. I don't know why. Even looking back at my game post-game, I was like, there's no benefit to bringing Oranguru in this matchup, like, at all.
No.
So I don't know why I did. Yeah, so it was just a really bad decision. So, and then I should, even if I did bring Oranguru, I still should have led the Klefki, because we did run the Misty Terrain specifically for the Spore.
Yeah. It just be like that sometimes, Just be like that sometimes, but Yeah, Rangaroo didn't do too much. This was an 0-3 victory for the Stunfisk. Like I said, the Amoonguss ended up going down to that Dracovish. But other than that, it was just Amoonguss next to Malamar, and Malamar clicking superpower, and that was it. So.
Yep.
All right. So on to the next game. We have the Binnacles versus the Beezles.
Great game.
If my thing wants to. This was a very good game. We saw the Binnacles have lose last week. 5 kills. Cofagrigus being the number 1 brought Pokemon. Beezles actually lost 0-2 last week, only getting 3 kills, and Politoed being that most brought Pokemon. But we're going to see a continuing theme here with the Politoed and the Rain on the side of the Beezles. Also bringing that Dhelmise and Gothorita. Loving that Escavalier, of course, because they keep bringing it in. They bring it with the Rain. It's decent. And then on the other side, we're going to see that Almaldo again, but more importantly, we're going to see that Goodra. Pelipper, who is not going to be Rained. And we actually see Rotom Fan, which I thought was something. Probably the worst Rotom, but you know, if you can make it work, you can make it work. Just like any Pokemon. So, game 1, we see Thwackey and Lucario against Incineroar and Kingdra. Kingdra actually dies a few turns in thanks to Thwackey being able to go for that Grassy Glide, which once again just does way too much damage. The Beezles didn't bring Rain because they thought the Binnacles were going to bring Rain, so there was a kind of reverse Rain thing going on. Like, who's going to bring Rain? Not me, because I don't even have Rain type thing. So that was interesting to see in game 1. And we do see Lucario picking up a kill on Incineroar with close combat being, I think it was at -2 and a kill with close combat. So
I don't remember.
That was pretty impressive. It was -1 or -2. It was really impressive. We see Thwackey picking up the Kingdra and Goodra picking up a double kill on Escavalier and Dhelmise with that flamethrower. Giving a 3-0 victory over to the Binnacles in game 1. It was just solid play by Theo the whole time. It was just very solid play. Just put himself in good positions. What's that?
I said, yeah, he was playing his butt off.
Yeah. It's too bad in game 2 that didn't happen. Game 2, we see Gothorita and Politoed as the lead. Already straight out the get-go, setting up the ability to go Parasong. And we see the Binnacles go Lucario, Thwackey once again, hoping that it's going to be around the same. And we, in fact, do see the Parasong come out before it dies to the Thwackey, setting up the Thwackey and Pelipper to actually be killed a few turns later via that same move there. So really good by Beezles.
Yeah.
Also, we learned that the Kingdra is not actually Swift Swim. It is actually Sniper.
Yep. And the spiciness wasn't even the fact that we, like, usually I would be a Parasong, you're the spiciest person in this week. But no, it wasn't even that. It was agility, Sniper, Kingdra after an ally switch, bro.
Yeah, the Kingdra was something different, and it was really good as it did pick up a kill on Goodra and Lucario, getting crits on both of them. We see Thwackey pick up the Politoed pretty early, and we see Pelipper pick up the Dhelmise before going down to that Parasong, taking a 0-2 victory to the Beezles here. Pretty good. But there's also a game 3. So we see the same sort of thing going out. We see the Beezles go out with Politoed, Gothorita, hoping to set up the same type of thing. And we see Lucario and Rotom Fan on the other side. But the difference is that it goes right out, going for the throat on everything that is not called Gothorita. As we see Lucario pick up a kill on Kingdra, Incineroar, and then we see Rotom Fan pick up Politoed. All 3 of those Pokemon going down. Politoed coming in later on to reset the whole thing, or actually no, dying early. Sorry, I wrote the wrong thing here. Dying early to allow the Kingdra to come in. Then the Kingdra dies. Incin comes in. Incin dies. All 3 pretty much one shot, and leaving Gothorita by itself to die to its own Parasong, which also did pick up Lucario and Rotom Fan, but that's how you deal with you deal with Perish Trap. You just kill everything that's not the trapper, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This time it worked.
Theo has played. So me being the Paris Trapper of the league, basically, every season, Theo has played quite a bit of games against me, and he's seen me play a lot of games. So once Theo has the knowledge that Paris Song is on the board, like game 2 that we saw, he knows exactly how to play around it. Game 3.
Yeah, fair enough. Our next game is going to be the Spoinks versus the Greninjas, and this is actually going to be the last one we can really talk about, as the other 2 games weren't actually recorded, so we don't really know what happened. We'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll go over some of the stats via last week, but yeah, so we have the Greedy Greninjas versus the Spoinks. Greninjas won last week, getting 8 kills, having Indeedee as their main brought Pokemon, and the Spoinks actually getting 10 kills last week. Of course, they played a 2 out of 3. A full set, and Solrock being the most brought Pokemon. I was hoping to see some more Solrock this week.
Yeah, same.
Was a little disappointed to not even see the Lunatone. We see it in the team preview, but we don't actually see the Pokemon. We see the Ninetales, obviously going with the Arctozolt. This is Arctozolt I love in VGC. It's a really good Pokemon, very underrated in my opinion. And we see that Gyarados again, but this time it's Moxie, so he's going to try to do some different things with it. And on the other side, we actually see a pretty decent team. We see the Jolteon, we see the Starmie, the Slurpuff, Indeedee. I think it's a pretty well-rounded team. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for the Greninjas.
Yeah. I always love to see an Aegislash on a team. I don't know why, but I think it's because he's not good in actual VGC. So I always love to see it.
I remember when he was the best Pokemon in 2017.
He was literally the best. I spent 16 hours shiny hunting him with eggs in that stupid circle in X and Y for hours. My ex-girlfriend was like, spend time with me. And I was like, no, shiny sword. No, shiny sword.
Speaking of shiny sword, so we see the Spoinks go out with Alolan Ninetales and Arctozolt setting up already there. We see Slurpuff and Indeedee on the other side. But this Arctozolt is just too much, as he could just go for the Blizzards and he can go for those Bolt Breaks. And we see the Arctozolt kill Indeedee first turn, and then he comes in and kills the... I wrote the wrong thing here. He comes in and he kills the Starmie a couple of turns later, and the Ninetales picks up the Slurpuff via the ice, and then actually kills the Aegislash with a Blizzard, which is the thing you don't often see happening to something like Aegislash dying to a Blizzard, for a clean 4-0 victory, going to the Spoinks. It just felt like the Greninjas weren't prepared for Hail, I don't think. I don't know. Because in game 2, we see the exact same thing. We see the Ninetales come in. We see the Arctozolt. Arctozolt gets first turn kill on Indeedee. We see Slurpuff and Indeedee on the other side. But we do see this time the Arctozolt go down to the Togekiss, which I was surprised. I thought, is that what happened? Because I have Arctozolt kill here. Oh no, he kills Arctozolt. Yeah. You would think that the Arctozolt would actually kill the Togekiss. And the Slurpuff was out there, but the Slurpuff was able to set up the Trick Room and then do a little bit of things. So Ninetales got dead to Starmie. I said that the wrong way. But the Nidoqueen was able to just come in and clean up the rest, killing the Slurpuff and the Starmie, picking up the 2-0 victory for the Spoinks. And yeah, it was a pretty clean game by the Spoinks, honestly. They just felt like they were more ready for the matchup than Greninjas were. I feel like they were a little bit surprised by what was being brought by the Spoinks this week.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I think the MVP was Arctozolt. Last game's MVP, Lucario. Game before that, Malamar. Because I think we forgot to talk about those. But yeah, Arctozolt. I love Arctozolt. I think he's my favorite of the new fossils. I love Arctozolt. He's my favorite too. So next we have the Sableyes versus Flareons. Like I said, we don't have this game recorded, so we can. I know a little bit of the information that I'll go over. We saw the Sableyes win last week, getting 9 kills with Ninetales, normal Ninetales being their most brought Pokemon. I said it was Alolan Ninetales last week. I don't know. It happened. And Flareon's won last week too, getting 8 kills and having that Vaporeon. We do have their team sheets, so we're able to look at that. Though I can't tell what did good and what didn't do good. I don't know what got kills and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to tell. I could go look at the stats, but it's still kind of hard to tell. But I do know that the Slowking swept Game 1. And Game 2 also did really well, but there were a couple of deaths by the Sableye in that game. So I just don't know what killed what and stuff like that. But I know Slowking killed pretty much everything. Slowking's strong with Expanding Force. That's all I can say. So
as Slowking does.
And DDE Expanding Force always going to be good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all we can really say about that game because we have absolutely no idea. This game, I literally have no idea. We have the Delmise versus the Machinos. The Delmise lost last week, bringing Hydreigon a bunch of times and getting 7 kills. And we have Minchino's win, getting 8 kills, and Swampert doing really well last week. So that's all I know about that. Here's the team sheets. Pinurchin being brought again heavily by the Delmise. And Delibird. I would have loved to see this game. I want to see what the Delibird was doing. And we just see some good stuff on the other side. We do see the Swampert, Metagross, and Walrein being brought next to the Grimmsnarl, Crobat, and Ninetales, having a good mix of support Pokemon with attacking Pokemon. So, yeah. Must have been a good game, but Minchinos do win 2-0.
They didn't record, they cheated.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I know.
Cheated.
So. They cheated. But yeah, so I mean, my game of the week this week, I think was probably. Oh man, there was a couple of good ones. For sure, but I think I like the. I don't know. I don't know which one I liked, man. There was so many good ones. How about you? What was your favorite?
My favorite one to watch back that wasn't mine, because I did actually really enjoy watching mine back because of how dumb I was with the choice stuff. But I really enjoyed going back and watching Krabby's game. That's my favorite game to watch.
I like the Binnacles and Beezles. I thought that was a really good game.
If I had to pick like a more like close game that was my favorite, like it would go Krabby because it was funny, and then the Binnacles was like actually like I was closer to the screen in that match. Especially, I have to love the games that bring Parasong, bro. I just have to.
You gotta respect it when somebody can actually win a game with Parasong. They didn't Parasong at the end either. They Parasong first turn. So I mean,
take notes out of my book, bro.
Listen, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Click your button. Click your button.
So yeah, that was my game of the week. Those are our games of the week. Next, let's talk about a couple of the stats. So let's go over the kill leaders. So right now, after week 2, this list has changed up a little bit. There's only 2 Pokemon on here that were on here last week, or 3. But now we have Toxtricity, Whimsicott at the top. At the beginning of the season, would you say, yo, after week 2, Toxtricity and Whimsicott are gonna be number 1, time for number 1? No, nobody's saying that, dude. Nope. Then we have Absol. Absol kind of makes sense. It's a very attacking Pokemon. But then we have Politoed, Stonejuror as the next 2. What is going on?
Guys,
this league has gone crazy.
It really has.
I love it though. I love it. This is really good. So yeah, very interesting list. As you can see on there, we have the Rebellion a couple of times on there, as well as the Tricos, bringing up some of the top kill leaders. And we can actually look at the top kill leaders in terms of teams. And we have Spoinks at the top of the list with 18, and we got the Sableye, Tricos, and Stunfisks all with 17. But we do see down there the Grimmsnarls, 15 kills, but only 3 deaths. So, I mean, winning the KD right now by a lot. So, there's not much else you could say about that. And
15-3, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and even Rebellion was 16-7. That's the second best deaths in the league is 7. So, 3's pretty good. Speaking of deaths, though, let's go look at the top death leaders in the league. We have the Latchkey Kids with 9 kills, 18 deaths. Berserkers, 10 kills, 18 deaths. Drapion's 12 kills, 18 deaths, and the Guzzlord's actually sitting up there with 16 kills. They're on the kill leader sheet as well, but also 18 deaths. They've played a lot of games already this season. They've done a lot of sets, so pretty interesting there. And we do see right in the middle there the Steel types and the Dragons, who have both gotten. They're the only teams in the league that have gotten 0-4 so far. And you can see where it's coming from. They're just not getting the kills, you know. They're just lacking in those departments, so.
Sad to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Now let's go over some of the transactions. We'll start from the bottom, work our way up. We see Butterfree being let go for Drampa. This is fantastic.
This is the best trade I've seen in my life.
This is
So
like,
so
bye Butterfree, but you're not sad at the end, you know what I mean?
Right. Drampa's an incredibly good pick.
Yes, and for the team who's already leading in all the categories pretty much, this is going to be a fantastic pickup for the Grimmsnarls, giving them an option in Trick Room as well.
Yep.
It's good
with
stuff.
Stab Hyper Voice. Well, Jesus, it's gonna go bonkers.
This next one, I'm not a big fan of. Hatterene for Gardevoir. I think I like Hatterene a lot better, but I feel like if he needs something faster, maybe that's why he's going for the switch. But I think keeping Hatterene would have been the better choice.
Yeah, I'm kind of neutral. On the trade. I think you're trading arguably the best Trick Room setter in the game for just a slightly faster option. I mean, does Gardevoir have a higher special attack stat?
No. Hatterene is 135, I think, and Gardevoir is 120.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you do have a little bit of a faster option here. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral because I do like both options, but I want to see what Rolo does with that Gardevoir if he's given up, like I said, arguably the best Trick Room setter in the game.
I did not mean to do that. Pay no attention to that. I'm just looking up Gardevoir's special attack right now. Oh, that's mega. 125, so yeah, it's not. And it has less special defense as well.
Yeah.
So it's it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. They must be picking it up for some reason, obviously. Next, I'm not a big fan of this one because I really like Machamp, but we see Machamp for Noivern. I think Machamp's really, really good. I did insanely well. Like, Machamp was my #1 Pokemon last season. Of course, I had nothing else, but it picked up most of my kills. I think I had 17 kills or something like that with Machamp last season, so I don't know. I say keep Machamp, but
I like the Noivern pick.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad, but
I think it just has a lot more options than Machamp. It's harder to prep for.
This next one I like. Golbat for Palossand. Fantastic trade. Good job.
Thanks. Can't talk about why I did it.
you panic picked the Golbat during the draft.
I did panic pick the Golbat. I thought he had Tailwind, bro.
So yeah, there was that. Next we see Galvantula for Frostmoth. Now, I don't like this, and I'm going to tell you why. The Steel types have 3 kills this season. Frostmoth has the most weaknesses out of any Pokemon in the game. It doesn't have good offensive stats. It's good against special attackers. Galvantula gives you speed control. Frostmoth is very slow. I don't like this trade. I don't like it.
I like it in an offensive game. I don't remember everything that's on Rhett's team right off the bat. But I do like Galvantula. I think Galvantula is going to go absolutely bonkers.
No, he got rid of Galvantula.
No, I know. I think he was going to go absolutely bonkers.
Oh.
Is what I'm saying. And I know I talked to Rhett a little bit after he did the trade that he was actually really sad to let go Galvantula. He did tell me what he was going to do with the Frostmoth, so I can't go into details about that. I still probably would have rather seen the Galvantula stay, but Frostmoth's alright.
I think Galvantula is really good. Next we see Barraskewda for Primarina. I mean, this is the best 1-for-1 probably this whole week. I mean, it's just an upgrade.
Yeah, agreed.
It's you're not getting any. You're not like Galvantula's a 1-for-1, but it's not very good. You know, Hatterene's a 1-for-1, but this is like a 1-for-1 that's actually good. The fact that Barraskewda was a tier 1, I don't agree with in the first place. But Primarina is just better. Even though I don't think Primarina is that good, it's just better than Barraskewda. So
Frame rate is insane, but alright.
Next we see Rapidash for Dottler. I don't know why he's picking up Dottler, but Rapidash is absolute cheeks, so I guess getting rid of it for anything is good.
So I actually told after he did the trade, I told him that he should have kept the Rapidash. But I think Dottler has a lot of really cool options. Another person who kind of told me what Dottler does for him, so I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I think after thinking about it, I think it's a decent trade. He's really bulky with an Eviolate on him. He gets Imprison randomly. Trick Room. It's a really good mon.
Yeah, he's really, really good, but Rapidash is butt, so it's fine. Next we see a Alolan Raichu for Scrafty. This is fine. Well, Alolan Raichu's not that good, and Scrafty is actually pretty decent. Has Intimidate.
I like this trade a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they don't share any weaknesses, so it's not like he's going to gain any of the same weaknesses from it. So maybe he had some weakness issues and just needed to fix that up. But I think that Scrafty's good, so I think it's fine.
Plus, you have to prep for both Moxie and Intimidate.
Yeah, that's true. And Trick Room and not Trick Room versions, too. I
Yep.
know he's not fast, but you use him for Fake Out and stuff outside of Trick Room, and then you go Attacker within Trick Room, so...
Yeah.
Next we have Shiftry for Altaria. I think this is fine. I don't like Shiftry.
Yeah, I think this is a good trade. And I think Shiftry's a little too frail. He does damage, but he's a little too frail. And Altaria has a lot of fun stuff you could do with him, like Perish Song.
He does have Perish Song, and also we saw this week the Cotton Guard version where you could just make him super bulky with Roost.
Yeah, I don't think Altaria deserves a tier 5 slot.
No.
So I think it's just free value.
No, I said that when we were going over it because I told you to try to get Altaria if we could. Just because of the fact that it's a tier 5 that can be a special attacker, be a physical attacker, it could be a support Pokemon, it could be a defensive Pokemon, it could be a Perish Trap Pokemon, it could just do so many different things.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
I think it should be a tier 3, in my opinion. Next we have Cofagrigus for Dusknoir. I mean, this is a 1-for-1 as well. I think Cofagrigus is better and always has been better. But if he might be looking for more damage. In that case, you're going to go with Dusknoir. But I just think overall Cofagrigus is just a far better Pokemon.
Yeah, when I saw this trade go through on the transaction page, I was a little sad.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason why Cofagrigus was used in Series 6, or not Series 6, in Gen 6, and Dusknoir wasn't. It's because he's just better.
Yeah.
Next we have Golisopod for Relicanth. I guess this is...
Graplock.
Graplock, yeah, sorry. I said Golisopod. That was last week. Which we didn't even see what the Clauncher did. We were promised Clauncher action. We saw no Clauncher action. Kind of disappointed. Graplock for Relicanth. I guess this is fine.
I just don't know what it does. I just don't know what it does.
I mean, it's Swift Swim, or you can go Rock Head, so we can't take recoil damage and stuff. So, I mean, it can do some stuff. We'll see. We'll see what it does. Then we got... I'm a little disappointed in this because you can't get rid of your mascot.
Well, I mean, it's not actually the mascot. It's like the mascot's baby. But it still rubs me the wrong way, dude. It still rubs me the wrong way, man. You gotta
keep it. If you got it on your logo or even any part of its fan, you gotta keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
Though I think Centiskorch is much better. It's not the point.
Yeah, you don't drop your pseudo mascot picks for a better Pokemon. Absolutely not.
No. You gotta drop something else.
Correct.
This next one I 100% do not agree with, and that's Stoutland for Vanillux.
Yeah, I agree.
Stoutland is very good.
Stoutland is insane.
And to pick it up for Vanillux, who, in all fairness, has been pretty decent so far. Now,
yeah,
are the Berserkers and Stunfisks in the same league? I can never remember who's in what league.
Yeah, they're both Kanto. I mean,
so he's picking up Vanillux's from the Stunfisks then. Okay. So that's the Vanillux with a bunch of kills. So at least he's still in the league after getting a bunch of kills. But Stoutland's just too good to give up. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the Berserkers can do with this. Already being 0-2, they kind of need something to spark them. So maybe Vanillux will be that Pokemon. So And to go along with that, we see Golduck being picked up for Vanillux. I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Sorry, actually I'm wrong. They're not in the same league.
Oh, so this is a different Vanillux. This Vanillux
different.
Was just chilling. Okay.
Yep, it's a different Vanillux.
Dang, poor Vanillux from Stunfisks. But yeah, I don't like this Golduck pickup. I don't think it's good. I think Vanillux is better than
I agree.
Golduck, I mean.
I agree.
Unless he expects to face a lot of weather, or if he's going to use it as, like, you know, just a revenge killer kind of Pokemon, because that's all I can see it doing. Choice Scarf, Choice Spec, something like that.
Even then, I just think Vanillux is a better option.
Yeah, I guess Vanillux is... It can be support too, Vanillux, and it sets up that Hail, which does do chip damage, so you can go to, like, a defensive team and still be able to come up with victories just from the Hail and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see what he has to do.
We'll see. Curry knows what he's doing. So I guess we'll see what it does. Prove us wrong. I do want to see Golduck go absolute bonkers. I really do. But I just think Vanillux is better. I'm not for the trade.
And speaking of bonkers, we see Hitmonchan getting dropped for Sneasel. This is the second week.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, hold on. This is the second week in a row that Guzzlords gave up their best Pokemon from week 1. They gave up Mantine last week, and they gave up Hitmonchan this week.
You hate to see it, man.
You absolutely hate to see it.
What does Sneasel give you? Like, where's the trade here? Like, I don't know.
Ice Shard.
Like, no, yeah, it gets Ice Shard, but is Ice Shard really worth getting rid of Hitmonchan? Like,
no.
I don't think
not
so.
Not at all. Because they both get Fake Out, so it's not Fake Out. Sneasel has way more weaknesses, so it's not that. Yeah, I don't know. They both get Faint, so it's not that. So I have no idea.
We'll just have to see what the week 3 is, I guess. See if maybe that helps this trade. But as of right now, I don't like it.
I can't see Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan has so much coverage where Sneasel does 0 damage. It's just so frail. It does 0 damage. Hitmonchan at least has damage. He's relatively fast, and he has a lot of good support moves as well with coaching and everything like that. So I don't know. But yeah. So we're going to talk about the games that we want to see next week that we're looking forward to. So I'll go first. I'm looking forward to seeing the Beezles versus Rebellion. Beezles put up a very good game this week. Didn't come out with the victory, but I'm on that Rebellion train right now. Like I'm all aboard. Choo choo. Like, let's go. So we see the Beezles. They're 0-2, have 10 kills. Kingdra, the most brought Pokemon, 20% game win percentage. And then we see Rebellion with the 2-0, 16 kills. Whimsicott being number 1 and 80% win.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's going to be a sick game.
It'll be a good game.
The Rebellion coach was actually just in another draft league, and he made playoffs. And he streamed, I think it was the finals. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But either way, playoffs. We know he's a good player. Like you said, we're on the Rebellion train. Definitely a playoff team, if not taking the whole thing. Like, I could definitely see it. It's gonna be a good game regardless.
Well, here's my question: who's getting 6 kills this week on Rebellion?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Also, I have a question. I have a question for the other team. What Pokemon you putting Eevee on?
So we'll have to wait and see next week. I think I think they might be playing their game tomorrow. So we'll see pretty soon. Well, today, that you guys will probably be seeing this today, because this is,
time.
This is the past, and you're in the future. And Leaf's game that he's looking forward to next week is the Stunfisks versus the Arcanines. And we see the Stunfisks 2-0, 17 kills. Malamar, 80% game win percentage. Arcanines 2-0, 14 kills. Liepard, and 80% game win percentage. This is a 2-0 versus 2-0. Very classic. Good game to look forward to.
Absolutely. And I think I got money on this game. I don't actually have money on this game. However, if I was to bet on any game, I would have to put money on this one. I'm not gonna determine who, but I do really want to see it. I know that Curry's a really good player, Dan's a really good player. When both of them I've never really prepped with Dan, but I've kind of gotten prep ideas from Dan when I was in my first couple weeks of like the GLDL before I had to drop. And I've seen Curry prep, like when Curry wanted to be serious, and both of those players, when they want to prep, come up with insane teams. You know, we have, on one hand, we have a player who has won draft leagues, and on the other hand, we have another player who's, you know, participated in like the higher levels of Players Cup. Like, we really want to, like, those two clashing is going to be an insane match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good match as well. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do. You know, Dan kind of destroyed the league last season until I took a game off of him, and then you took a whole set off of him, and then, you know, he ended up winning the whole thing either way. But is he shook because he's already dropped the game this season? You know, is he going to be shook early this time?
He doesn't have his Ice Horse.
He doesn't have Ice Horse. That's true.
He doesn't have his Ice Horse.
Listen, Ice Horse. I'm just saying that as a shuckle, but it'll be an interesting game to see for sure. They both have really good teams. They have a lot of options. I'm excited to see that game. We'll definitely be talking about the next week. That'll probably be the last game on the list to make you guys wait for it. But yeah. That's all the stuff we got to go through for right now. I think it's time for the long-awaited, you know, top spicy plays of the week, brought to you by Pikachu in the Laundry Basket, and not Five Guys, which I'm still hanging out at my local. This is actually my local Five Guys.
Or T-Mobile. T-Mobile had nothing to do with this either.
T-Mobile. Nobody wants anything to do with T-Mobile. And,
I don't want nothing to do with T-Mobile, bro.
They were good when they gave free Pokemon Go data. That's now there was Sprint, and I technically got Sprint, so I guess I got T-Mobile. I don't know, but so yeah, stay right tuned. You're gonna see the top 5 plays brought to you by Pikachu in a Basket.
And for our 5th play of the week, we have actually a game from one of my matches. This is me versus the Worcester Stunfisks. And this was a nomination strictly because we saw something that we don't really see too much right here. We're going to see Malamar go for Superpower. I mean, we see that all the time. Klefki's just absolutely going to eat that up. And we're going to see Malamar get his boosts up. Drifblim's going to go with the Hex to pick up some more HP on the Malamar. He's going to eat his berry. He's going to be all, you know, well rested. And yeah, so he is burnt, so he does take a little bit more damage from the Hex, and he takes more damage from the burn itself. Now, this turn is really where we're going to try to turn our eyes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to protect on the Drifblim, and then we actually just go for a Dazzling Gleam into the other 2 slots. And this was a pretty good play because I knew that he was going to try to go into the Drifblim. But he goes for the Brick Break, which, as always, Klefki picks that up. Reflect does wear off, unfortunately, but this is what we see. We see Klefki get a double KO. And I have probably never seen a Klefki get a double KO in my life. He's not a Pokemon you see used defensively usually. And yeah, so that's why it was nominated for one of the top 5. And for our 4th play of the week, we actually see something from the Island Dragons versus the Rebellion team. And we see a helping hand from Hitmontop right into a raw Stone Edge into the Arcanine from Aerodactyl, which does pick up the one-hit KO. Not much more to explain here, just that you never see Stone Edge in VGC, and we see it pick up the Arcanine in one hit. And this is pretty early on in the match. For our 3rd play of the week, this actually comes from the match between the Beantown Binacles and the Los Angeles Buizels. Now, what we saw prior to this was we actually just saw 2 of Theo's Pokemon go down to a Perish Song, which we all know is my favorite thing in the world to see. So what happened now is that Goodra and Lucario are left on Theo's side. He's playing pretty close to timer. He really wants to hit that Kingdra, which he has to hit the Kingdra to win. But then we see a Gothorita come out with the Ally Switch, which wasn't even thought about from Theo, and the Draco Meteor comes out and kills the Goodra, which was a definite turning point for this match. Goodra goes down, and all that's left is Lucario versus a Gothorita and a Kingdra. For our 2nd Spice of the Week play, we actually see a play from the Berserkers versus the Tricos match. Right now, we see an Absol on board next to Garchomp, and it's facing off against the Komodo and Rapidash. Now, we're not going to talk about a play itself, but a Pokemon. And that Pokemon has to be the Absol. And the reason why we're spotlighting Absol is because it absolutely went nutty as the MVP of this match. Even Garchomp couldn't kill this Como. And I know it's at lower HP, but Como is going to try to set his Dragon Dance off. Right? You think that's okay? But then Absol is going to come in here and be like, nah, fam, we're going to crit you again. And that's exactly what he does. He goes from one crit killing the Rapidash into another crit killing the Como. That Sucker Punch going to be like, nah, fam. Good night. Forever. See you later. And that's why Absol deserves the second slot. And for our first place for Spice of the Week, we're going to go by a play that was made from Dan of the Arcanines, and it was versus Bubble for the Week 2 matchup, where we're going to see that Nidoking and Crobat are facing off against Hitmonchan and Togetic. Now, what happens is Dan taunts the Togetic with Crobat and goes for an Earth Power into Hitmonchan. What this is he's reading that Bubble isn't actually going to click Follow Me, and it's reading that Hitmonchan switching into Escadrille here. What this does is this leads to Excadrill getting an OHKO, which was a fantastic call and a very risky call from the Arcanines. And it's this type of offensive play that earned him his slot for the #1 pick for Spice of the Week. Look at that. Boom. OHKO'd. Good night. So congrats, Dan, for getting the #1 play of the week.
And that was the Spice of the Week, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There was some good plays there. That call by the Arcanines was just nuts. Just nuts. Because I think
this week was super hard. This week was super hard to put them to pick ones. I'm glad there was some nominations.
Yeah, because in my opinion, bro, I would have sludge bombed all day. Sludge bomb. But that's the difference right there, you know? You just gotta call it sometimes. So
it's game-winning call.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching once again. I'm having a lot of fun making this. They are very time consuming to make, so bear with us if we are late or we're not getting them out quick enough for you. We're going to try our best to try to get them out on Tuesdays, but sometimes it might just not work or whatever. It's a lot of stats. I have the stats building up now. I'm keeping my own stats, not just the stats that they show on there. So like the game win percentage, most used Pokemon, all that stuff takes time to compile, so just bear with me a little bit. We're going to have more segments and stuff like that you haven't seen yet, and we're just going to keep improving. If you have any suggestions, feel free to bring it to us.
Let us know.
We'd love to hear it. We're open to anything, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And make sure you guys follow the channel. Make sure you guys check out the VBA Twitch channel as well. Those should all be linked down in the underbar. Go check out Leaf. He streams on Twitch. Check me out, Popo's VGC on Twitch as well. Follow everybody. Following is free. Following is love. So,
and starting Mondays, I will have submissions open. DM me your nominations for Spice of the Week. Not only does it help me out because I have to go through 24 whatever games. Or videos at least, but it also makes it a little less objective, so it's not just what I think or what Popo thinks is the best play of the week. It brings kind of you guys into account too, so definitely get your nominations in.
Yeah. Tell us what you guys like in terms of plays. Anytime during the week, just message up Leaf. He's the head of that. So thank you guys, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Everybody.